Hello, New York. We're going to get rolling here. My name is Michael Siglain. I'm the creative director of publishing for Lucasfilm. Thank you. I am here on behalf of Lucasfilm Publishing and Dark Horse Comics. We're going to talk about comics in a galaxy far, far away. Let me introduce our all-star panelists. So first and foremost, Daniel José Older, Cavan Scott, Rachel Scott, Harvey Tolibao, and Alyssa Wong. All right, so we've got about an hour of comics to go through. A lot of reveals at this panel today, which should be fun. We're going to start off with questions because October is Star Wars Reads Month, right? And so if you're unaware, thank you, Star Wars Reads Month is when we really try to promote reading and literacy through the books and comics and magazines of the galaxy far, far away, right? We want kids reading. I don't care what they're reading. It's a book, a comic, magazine, just get them reading. And honestly, if you're an adult too, just as important, right? So for the panelists, and we can start with Daniel on the end, talking about first Star Wars books. Do you remember your first Star Wars book or comic, and what was it?
Man, do I ever. Because I found it recently. It was a Marvel comic from the Return of the Jedi era, and Boba Fett crawls out of the Sarlacc pit and then gets yeeted right back in at the end of the issue, which is a good lesson in Star Wars storytelling, because it turns into put the toys back in the ding-dang box.
So mine was Marvel as well. In the UK, we had Marvel UK published Star Wars Weekly, which literally was what it sounded like, and they split the Marvel run into 10 pages. It was right at the beginning, just after the adaptation, and it was a construction of a green rabbit, which I met before Luke Skywalker, and that explains it.
Really,
never the same.
I think that's a world record for how quickly you brought Jackson into it.
It isn't, to be honest.
For me, like, I don't know if it's the first one, but I really remember reading the adaptation Splinter of the Mind's Eye, the one that Chris Price drew, because I love that artist.
How about you, Harvey?
The first Star Wars that I've not read, because I cannot read. So I just watch all these pictures and stuff, like fighting and everything. So I was like, oh, there's no fighting, it's not good. So but I read the artist Bill Whitley. So I met him, like he's my hero. And I was like, insane, the amount of details he drew in the robots and stuff. I said, oh, this like picture, you put picture in so many panels. So that's the Star Wars that the first one has been.
It's okay, Harvey, I can't read either. Also, this is so tall. My first Star Wars book, the funny thing is I actually don't remember what it was called because I had it for one day. And it was a chapter book about young Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker. I was a kid and I was like, this is the best thing ever. But again, I only had it for one day. So if anybody knows, if you know what that series happened to be, there were like a whole bunch of them. You have solved a lifelong mystery?
Also, if you have Alyssa's copy, please give it back. All right, so related question. What is the most impactful or the current Star Wars book that you're reading? Alyssa, we'll start with you and go down to Daniel.
Oh no. I would actually say, not to be weird about it, but I love Midnight Horizon. By one Daniel José Older. I love it because it was so passionate and it introduced me in a lot of ways it reintroduced me to what I love about the Jedi. Because I grew up with, the prequels and they're not good people. So I remember reading it being like, oh, there are ways to have compassion for people and there are ways to feel the Force that are different. There isn't just one way to be. And that has made such a big mark on me. And so I read that before I joined the initiative and now I'm like, oh my God, this is really happening.
For me, the story of Canon, I think, from Marvel. drawn by Belarus.
Oh, yes.
So that's why I love it, because it was drawn by the best artist. So I keep staring at the story and everything, and I think it's really, really weird if you're part of the project. Then after a few pages, you see your work. I was like, I think they put the wrong drawing in there, but it was part of my work. So it's always funny to see our work was there, part of those books. But John Jackson Miller, the Knights of the Old Republic, Kotor. So he was downstairs. So I was like, I tell him, like, hey man, I think we work together. And he said, like, who are you? Like, my name is Harvey Tolibao. I said, oh, it's been 20 years. Yeah. It's weird because it's been 20 years since the first project that we've done, the Knights of the Old Republic. And we talk about the Mandalorian, because I draw a lot of Mandalorian there. Even in the script, it's small. I draw it big because I love Mandalorian. And, but it was fun. And yeah, I met my writer downstairs. It was cool. That's Kotor.
So what you're saying is he was like, now there's a name I've not heard.
Well played.
When you emailed the questions, I was like, oh, what's the current one I'm reading? And it's a terrible answer because I actually haven't really started. I've bought the book. But I'm a really big, if anyone follows me on social media, I'm a big Orson Krennic fan for some reason. There's got to be someone out there. And so I just bought the book that's like his backstory sort of thing, but novelization of it. So I'm very excited to get back to England, but it's waiting for me on my bookshelf, so that's right.
So my all-time favourite Star Wars books are the Darth Bane trilogy, which I've read so many times. I'm currently reading something called Trials of the Jedi by Mr. Charles Soule.
That's really good.
Or a version of it. It's a book. It's a book. You are so not ready.
Cav, if I slip you $5, will you just let me own the book?
Yes, but Charles sells it at 10.
But they're autographed copies. Charles is definitely one that I was going to say, and I was already going to say this because Alyssa said that very nice thing, but opera is really like it. You know what I mean? Like Dr. Opera. And that goes for Alyssa's part of it, and that goes for, Kieran was downstairs, and I went up to him and I was just like, dude, I'm such a big fan. And he was like, who are you? And I was like, it doesn't matter who I am, it's who you are that matters. Because I'm such a big fan. I totally fanboyed. And it was really fun to do that. Because, opera to this day, changed the game. And, we're just sitting at the table with a legend that did that too. And it's so cool to have been able to collaborate with them. So, back to opera, for sure.
Well, in addition to October being Star Wars Reads Month, it is also Halloween, and you know what that means in a galaxy far, far away. We have to talk about Vader's Castle. So this mighty collection just came out from Dark Horse. Cav, what has it been like writing these scary stories all these years?
Well, I think it's the fact that we read when we first did this, 84 years ago, we said we wanted to become a tradition,
Yeah.
What we meant was that the original run of it, hopefully it'll be something that people will pull out. And the fact that we do it every year, that my voice went there, out of pure emotion. Not the fact it's been a con for a few days. But yeah, it's incredible that it's lasted so long. I think when we announced it, we were like, we like this, you and me.
Yeah.
That's why we did it. Everyone went mad when they first saw those covers. For good reason, they're awesome. And now he's touched everything under us. And just to see it all together in a big shiny book, and it is big, you could kill someone with it. Don't do it. Lucasfilm told me to say, don't do that. That's a really bad idea. But yeah, it's amazing.
It's a beautiful collection if you haven't seen it. Do you have a favorite? Can you pick a favorite story from
Yes.
it?
Yes, I can. It's doing the Wicker Man with Ewoks. Still doing it. Robert Hancock, it's genius.
I mean, to this day, I'm amazed that we got away with it. So. But no, it's really an amazing book. Did anything surprise you writing these all these years?
I think that we got away with it. I mean, so everything, what's been brilliant about it is that we have thrown, we've thrown, obviously, Duke as Dracula is an obvious thing to do, Tarkin as Frankenstein, but Were-Gamorreans, I really thought they weren't going to let me do that. And the fact they don't bite you, they lick you and then you turn into one. That's right. It's that constant thing. It's been the willingness to go, yeah, okay, zombie droids, yeah, of course we can do that. And yeah, it's been great.
It's been a lot of fun. And speaking of monsters, that brings us to Monster Hunters. So let's talk a little bit about Tayo. Where has she been and where is she now?
So when we meet her in Safe Hire, she's been on a journey because obviously Tai, which we now know, she walked away from the Order or ran away from the Order very fast when she was Padawan because something very bad happened, and has been running ever since. And she is actually having the best time of her life because she's behind the inclusion zone. And for most people, that's a bad thing. But that means she can do what she wants and get paid for it, which is incredible. She does have who she considers her squire, and he considers her Padawan, Druid. So that's a little bit of a thorn in her side. But yeah, she's having a whale of a time. But this is Star Wars, so the past never really goes away. So she has come face to face with the past she ran from.
Awesome. Now, Rachel, you've been drawing this. You get to draw monsters and monster hunters. What's more fun?
I do really like drawing Tai. Like, it's a great character. She does have a lot of stuff on her costume, is the only thing. So I did find that, like, every time I drew, I'd forget something, like the belt or the... and then, like, the scars and everything, so it's like a little checklist. But, like, I love, like, trying to capture, like, her attitude, because I really like making her really grumpy. And I read some, like, reviews of people like, she's really grumpy, and I was like, yeah, she is.
But then when she smiles, you know you're in trouble.
Yeah. Then you're like, oh, God. Yeah. So that's been really fun. So, yeah, and I do like doing monsters and stuff. There was, like, I got to design one thing, which was, like, the first one, Monster in Temple Peak. And it was like a camel with like 3 humps. And I was like, I'm in Star Wars, baby!
What I love doing with artists is showing process, right? And you know, you get the script from Cavan and you look at it, and the emotion, the acting, and the negative space here is amazing, right?
That rough face on the bottom left, though, that's like one of the lesser silly-looking facial expressions in the reference.
But as an artist, what advice do you have for new artists out there?
I was looking at some portfolios yesterday. I think that, like, as long as your storytelling's solid, I think it makes up for a lot of stuff in terms of draftsmanship, or at least that's what I tell myself on a daily basis. So, and it's something that's like, it just takes like practice. So it's just a case of like, it's kind of instinctual. Like when I was like in my 20s and I was getting portfolio reviews, I had one from a guy from Marvel and he was like, oh, you really like movies? And I was like, what? And it was like, because that sort of visual storytelling style. So it's something that's like, I try and focus on a lot. And then if I forget her belt or her scars, it'll hopefully make it up for it.
And then for the two of you, you've got the trade coming out soon. What do you guys hope fans take away from Tai and her story?
I think it's the fact that she has had a proper journey, which is only just beginning, really. You know, there's stuff that happens at the end of the relationship for Tai that's going to literally change her. You say that all the time, it will change her life forever. It's going to. From the things that are going to shape the galaxy to the fact that she suddenly has this child, Lee, who's looking after her, and beyond any wildest expectations, she realised there's a connection there. And I think that was my favourite thing from the album we got through, those moments when we looked at each other. And if anyone's heard Dooku Jedi Lost, the name Lean is not unfamiliar, and Lean may have a role in Dooku's life, so there is a through line always in Star Wars, but it's that moment where someone who has fought to be alone can't help but have a connection with someone, where what that's going to mean for the future.
Yeah, it was very funny though that we drew in the whole time. She's like, don't look at me, don't perceive me, get off my ship, I hate you. And then she was leaving on stage, she's like, I love you, I will do whatever. I just met you and I'd kill for you. Like, yeah, can't blame her. But yeah, I think that's the nice thing about High Republic stuff is that characters can go through these like massive like changes in storylines and developments. And so it was nice having the story end, but it didn't just go back to where it started from. She had like this real like arc that happens that then can be picked up by another story and carried on. So,
Yeah, there's definitely more to come. Speaking of High Republic, let's talk about Dispatches from the Inclusion Zone. which the first issue came out. Daniel, you want to talk a little bit about issue 1 since you kicked us off with this?
Yeah, we had so much story to tell, and I feel like this batch is like we were like we need more room to tell the vastness of what we are doing with this. I can't believe I'm saying this, the finale, you know, of the High Republic, and there's so much happening. It's such a big galaxy. We have so many characters, and this was a really great opportunity to, as you can see from the pages, check in with some folks. So we can stay focused on adventures, on things that are going on there, and then also make sure that we're still talking to some of the folks that we need to talk to over here. So, you know, you can see 5AG3 there, and Court, and, you know, some of our good friends.
And like Cav said, this is, you know, these stories take place within occupied territory, right? So if we wanted to give fans a glimpse into what was going on there, but through several different points of view, right? So Alyssa, you're writing issue 2. Tell us about what happens in issue 2.
Oh my god, I love a war story. I love a story where everyone is stressed out. So in the second issue, Daniel tees us off beautifully. In the second issue, an important droid has fallen into the hands of the Nile, discovered by one Drigget Parse on Ariadu. Crash and her crew, and crew too, on the other hand, they've discovered this, and they are trying to take that droid back. So you have this really intense battle slash infiltration slash heist that pits two characters against each other, who Rue and Drigget, who are both characters who are slowly burning pieces of themselves off so that they can commit more and more to their mission. And so then the question is, as you do this, how do you keep your humanity, and is there hope for you?
Of the two of them, was there a character that was more challenging for you to write?
I love writing them both, honestly. I think Rue is always a little bit tricky because I always want to say as much as possible with as few words as possible, because talking is really difficult for him, and because he is dyslexic, and he's also incredibly anxious and shy. But he's got that like cool guy exterior, but inside he's just like, I'm dying. And I think Driggit's actually really easy to write because she's just mean. I love writing a mean girl.
Yep.
All right, let's do some more reveals. So for issue 3, we're back to Daniel. Tell us about what is happening on this one and what it connects to.
Yeah, first of all of these issues connect deeply to everything, and they can be deceiving because of the way they're formatted. They can feel kind of like one-shots, and they're interconnected within each other in certain ways, yes, but they're also very connected to the larger story we're telling. So keep that in mind, that the details may emerge that you're like, what is this? And then you're going to be like, oh, that was actually everything. That's scattered throughout. But also, I really wanted to write like a love-hate buddy cop type drama, you know, with two very weirdo characters that don't fit in anywhere. Midnight Run is definitely one of my favorite movies from when I was a kid. I don't know if y'all remember it, but Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin, incredible movie. And that was kind of the main inspiration for this. Like, as soon as I realized that we had an opportunity to tell a story like that, I immediately seized on these two characters who are absolute outsiders and, you know, in very different ways, but have a lot in common. And so this is really their story of being kind of forced together and what they do with it on a moon that we've seen before and we'll see again.
Let's reveal some interior art.
Yes, I love the art that they did with this. Yeah. So we got the spider squall there, the squall spider. Lots of great Nip Drendel moments and Everett moments.
It's a very unexpected team up with two characters that you wouldn't think would be in the same book together, and it's we just read the letter and passed up, and it's fantastic. So we move from issue 3 then to issue 4, and we're back to Cavan Ty.
It's like she's never been away.
Right?
Yeah. But she's back in more ways than one, because this is now Ty, who has put a lot in with the Jedi. Okay, she isn't a Jedi, but a certain Elzar man has had a word with her, and there's a connection for them in their past. And so yeah, she's out searching for these droids. I mean, she's she's very annoyed about it. You know, she remembers when she used to hunt things, and now she's hunting droids that are missing, but droids with very specific information for the Republic on how they can defeat this guy called Mark Yumro.
Let's reveal some pages from this one too.
Yeah, so working with Vinnig, I've worked with him a few times now, and he's just incredible. He's so good. And so this is Ty just taking the ship, which now has a name, which never did. So basically, everything she said, I don't name my droids, I don't work for the Jedi, I don't name my ship, it's all gone. She's there. It's just like everyone else has done it for her. And we see her teaming up with someone in it. Can we say who she's teaming up?
I think we could say it, sure.
So it's a certain someone called Lorna D, and I don't know. And yeah, Ty Yorick and Lorna D together, it's an experience. And it, again, like Dinah said, it links to other things, and this issue links directly into the final run of the High Republic coming from Marvel, literally almost to the page. So there might be some other familiar places as well.
And that's like what Daniel said earlier, that's the beauty of it, right? You can read each of these as standalones, right? This is a fun miniseries, you can look at it as fun one-shots, but if you've been reading everything in this initiative, this is sort of our way of giving back to you guys and saying thank you, because we have put breadcrumbs and Easter eggs in everything.
And just to say, that planet is a planet called Dharma, which people might recognise as well. So again, it's that thing, there are things happening now that we've been working on for years, and it's all starting to come together.
So we move from this to the annual that comes out next year. This is exciting because this is, several folks jamming on this one. We revealed some of this yesterday at the Lucasfilm publishing panel, where Charles revealed that he was doing a story about the Jedi Younglings. Zoraida is doing a story about Chura the Hutt. Alyssa, tell us what you're working on.
I am working on so Leanna Kankus is an incredible artist, and I'm so excited to get to collaborate with them on this piece. This is a short story, again about Drigget Par's teenage Nile and her unlikely friendship, with Emilcine Tarkin, who's fighting against the Nile. And Drigget here is trying to balance out her own desire for revenge against the Nile and her complicated friendship, with this teenage girl, Emilcine. And this story is really about them and their relationship and the brewing conflict going on in Ariadu City as things heat up and are getting uglier and uglier and uglier. It's also low-key about PTSD, but,
Let's reveal another page. Cav, tell us what your story is about.
So my story centres around Baron Bula, who people know from the Marvel run. He's also a major player in Tempest Break, which comes out in December, which is our next audio drama. And this is the story of a bounty hunter who's been hired to break into his fortress stroke laboratory and steal back a child who's been adopted. Yeah, actually, yes,
In a way.
that is the exact word, who has been captured and taken there for experimentation. So we hear a lot about the kind of things that Bula does as the mad scientist of the Nile, and now we see some of them, and it's horrendous.
It's very creepy. I love it. So the other story, and Justina's not here, but Justina Ireland is writing the last story of this one. And we can reveal some of her pictures, I'm sure she would want us to. So she's writing a Bernesper story, and the fun thing about that is a flashback to when she was a Padawan with Stellan Gios. So, right? Still a little too soon. So this is, we're really excited about this, and like Cav said, everything that we're doing now is leading to this big conclusion that's coming next year. Again, the end of this particular story, not the end of the era. More to come. But let's talk about High Republic Adventures. So Daniel, we've got Ramback. What's going on here?
Return to Battle. What is going on? I had so much fun writing with Alyssa, Escape from Battle, that I just decided to go back. Because why escape when you're having that much fun? And there's also just, like we were talking about, there's all these characters running around, and we needed to just figure out where they were all going to be and where they were going, how to line them up in the right places. But this is back on Valo. Valo is a planet that is in the occlusion zone, but, spoilers, They basically told the Nile that they were still under Nile control, and they were like, yeah, the Nile are here, it's terrible. And they weren't at all. They're totally free. But they managed to get away with that for a while. But the bricks are starting to finally fall, and everything is closing in. And so it is really about life during occupation, and resistance during occupation, and survival, and how to fight for freedom.
So we're going to jump from this to a couple issues later. So we're going to talk to Harvey and Dan. So Harvey has drawn the covers to issues 14, 15, 16, and 17. And they look like this. One big, giant, incredible image. Harvey, how many days did this take you to draw?
I think this one takes so many days. Because actually, this wasn't the plan. There never been the plan. That's how Star Wars works. So when the team asked me like to do the cover, I always do like this, like some stuff like this. Just like Lady Kremlin like a while ago. So like they never assigned me to do Lady Kremlin. I just designed them as I read like, oh, I love this girl. Just it's like Daniel said to Daniel, and Daniel's like, oh, that's an old lady. Oh, I love old ladies. So that's why every time I see like this, like, oh, they don't want me. Actually, they don't want me to do the cover. I cannot do cover. I'm very slow. So every time there's a script coming, I imagine the cover. It's like, what is like this cover look like? If they want me, if they love me so much, they want me to also cover. Then I keep drawing covers, sending to the editors. I don't know if they love it or they don't have a choice. But they said, man, this is brilliant. We can do 2 covers. Then I send them 4 covers. I told you 2 covers. 4 covers is better. I was like, I have 6 covers planned. 4 covers is already done. That's what I do. I keep pushing everything. But I love all the team. Daniel's always say yes. I never heard say Daniel no. Like I said, Daniel said, yes, send it to them. Yes, send it to them.
That's true. That's true.
So, like, that's why we get so insane. Like if you can see, I'm bringing here like 2 books. So these are like the stuff that we do. Like even though they don't ask me, I designed the cover. Like this is the cover would look like. This is the story would look like. Then Daniel's like, it's not the story. It's just keep pushing it, and this is what happened. Like the brilliance of Daniel and the whole team. Like I always see what they do, and I put everything. Like if you see the cover, the story is all there. Like who's the villain, and even you can see the back of the center. You can see the Lula's other song, like behind it, like because I don't really know that it's Lula. It's Lula's inside the character. I just decided, and they said like, oh, it's Lula's inside. Like what? It's like I don't know if I'm part of the team. I just draw that and made the cover. Like no, this is the cover, and you can see Dragon there, like the chicken face. Like when I designed Dragon, this is like Dragon. So I had to show to you because it's so nice. Like it's now I know who is Dragon. Dragon is Alyssa. So when I designed this one, so it's like this is the design. I sent it to them. Does it look like menacing? Then look, she's like a chicken. For me, it's like chicken is menacing. And I put the grill and everything. So it's like even though they don't really ask me, I just like make a story behind it. Like she's like you can see the feather in the back, like she's angry, like but the feather's like it's like there's always like funny behind, like because when I draw there's like so many sounds, like that's why my wife's like I'm not married to a crazy guy or who is this guy, because I was just like Wong. My wife's like, really? You're gonna do this 1 a.m. in the morning?
But Harvey, I do that when I write too. When I'm writing, I'll be like, so like, we're on one, and then.
Let's take a look at the colors of this one. It is really So, Harvey and Daniel, you guys have been working together for close to, I think, 5 years now. Today was the first time you actually met in person. What's been the process like for the two of you as you've been working together all these years?
I mean, Harvey just summed it up with that. And you can tell, like, his energy when he talks. That's what it's been this whole time. He's like relentless, and he's so kind and gentle and compassionate as a human, and so talented as an artist. So it's just been a true pleasure. I was telling Mike when we first started working together, you know, we had a Skype call to just like meet, and we were immediately brothers. And I was like, you know, what do you love drawing, so that I can kind of slide some of that stuff your way in the story. And he was like, oh no, everything. And I was like, no, don't do me like that. What do you mean? Like, really? And he's like, no, literally everything. And I thought he was just being nice, because he's obviously really nice, but he was like very, very real about that. He loves drawing everything. This man loves to draw so much. And it's been such a gift to work with him. Like, it's been an unparalleled gift. I've learned about life. He is as much a writer as he is an artist on the series. You know, he writes the series because he's telling the story. And I feel like I'm almost superfluous. Like, I'll be like, and then a huge space battle. And he's like, and makes magic. And I'm an aspiring artist, but I'm not an artist yet. But I wanted to thank Harvey. So the only way I could think of honoring his art is by drawing him something. So I drew some of your characters. Jedi Master Harvey Tolibao, thank you for bringing the High Republic adventures to life. So I want because it's truly been like a career high, like, to be able to work with him. He's so talented and amazing, and again, such a good person. So that's the best way I could try to honor you.
That's my drawing cat.
You know you worked with each other for 10 years.
So this leads us into the Battle of Iriadu.
Yes.
What, for any of you who wants to speak to it, what can you tell us about what to expect from that battle?
The cover speaks, this spread here speaks to it so perfectly, because everything comes to a head, cats die, that's what happens in battle. But this is what we've all been waiting for, this is what we've all been coming down to, in the true sense of the multi-dimensional, incredible aspect of storytelling that we've been doing all along. Like, it so much leads to this moment for these characters. And that's what's so exciting about it, is being able to do that, and just being able to spread out and tell this massive story and then bring it to this massive conclusion in the most Star Warsy way possible. I'm just very excited that we're getting there, because I've already seen some of Harvey's art for it and some of Tony's art for it, and it's fantastic, so get ready.
I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, because before the Battle of Iriadu, there is a wedding that...
Speaking of things, I was thinking today about how we sat down, with Story Group at the before any issues had come out, before I'd written a single issue, we sat down and I was like, look, this is the story I want to tell, and there's a wedding, and this is how I want to tell it, and I want y'all to know that so that we can talk about it now, and that's what it's going to be. And they were so amazing in that conversation. Like, I still think back, particularly Pablo, just like how generous and thoughtful he was, and how much great advice he had, and how little pushback there was, and just what a positive experience it's been this whole time. And I've always wanted to tell a slow burn love story, So here we are. This is also what it all comes down to: love and war, right? And this is such an exciting moment, and it's coming in December.
And we have a couple variants as well. Everyone really knocked this out of the park. Yeah. One of the fun things about this issue is it's a jam issue, right? We've got multiple artists on it purposely because everyone was invited to the wedding. And Harvey illustrates that beautifully in this next spread, which is everyone invited to the wedding. So it might be a little hard to see on screen, but these are all of our High Republic Adventures characters. And Harvey, again, I don't know how you did it, how many days this took you, but man, thank you. How long did this take?
Same as like almost the cover. Like, this is what I do. Like, they said like, oh, there's like weddings in like all the guys are there. And I imagine like, oh, there's like a magazine, a cover magazine like Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise is there. So I'm like, oh, I need to design their clothes. I wasn't assigned to design their clothes. So this is what I do. Like, I always design everything. So like, I design what their clothes look like. I design their shirt, what's underneath it. Because I owe this one to my wife, because my wife is there, like picturing everything. Because she always dressed me. Because I only wear t-shirt and shorts, and like, you look like a robber. No one believes that you're an artist. Dress well. Then she buy me a good, like, I don't know what is this. It's so hot. And it's like, so when I get that face, like, oh, I need to dress them. Like my wife does to me. So I put like flowers and everything. But I know the reader doesn't care, but for me, I say like, oh, who did it? But I know I'm the truth. Who did it? But yeah, that's the fun behind it. Like I never get tired. I hope my editors never get tired of everything. And,
the thing, Harvey, is you say that the readers don't care. That couldn't be further from the truth, because everybody cares, right? It's that attention to detail that everyone appreciates, and that I hope when people go back and reread these, they will pick up on all that stuff. You might not pick it up on the first read, right? You're going to be reading it, you're caught up in the action. But if you go back and look at it again, you see all the detail, the hours and hours you poured into it, that everyone has poured into it. And then, like I said before, hopefully you start to see all of those connections and see just how interconnected these issues are with everything else that we're doing. It really is pretty amazing. And this is, and I'm not exaggerating, this is really just the tip of the iceberg for this issue. You're going to see more on StarWars.com in the future, but this one is one to watch for sure.
And shout out to long-lived characters, because that lets us have a lot of phase 2 stuff in there, among other people, including Gal.
So let's keep talking about the Battle of Iriadu, because that is the big thing that comes out of this issue. Alyssa, do you have anything you'd like to reveal about the Battle of Iriadu?
You know I said I like war stories? Well, we are going to hit the ground running on the Battle of Iriadu as war descends on the city. We have a vengeful trader's last desperate gambit. We have a young hero's final test of compassion. And we have these two friends who were separated at the end of Escape from Ballo. Two former best friends on different sides of the war, one Nile, one Jedi, coming back together for an explosive reunion. This is bringing together everything that we've worked on. We are pulling threads from Escape from Ballo, Dispatches in the Inclusion Zone, High Republic Adventures, the Star Wars Insiders fiction that I wrote. I've written 2 stories, I guess spoiler alert, but very exciting. And this is a big emotional conclusion to these characters' arcs. And again, we ask, what is it going, like, if you are dedicated to your cause, what is that going to cost you? If you have burned a hole through yourself so that you are able to finally have revenge on the people who destroyed your life, do you still have a chance of turning away from that? And who are you willing to sacrifice for that? And on the other side, how much, like, what does compassion look like? What does the love of the Jedi look like? And what does it mean to hold someone close in your heart while also being able to let them go? It is really intense. It's going to be really fun. I know that doesn't sound fun, but it's going to be really fun. And I can't wait to share it with you.
Alyssa, your cover copy game is unparalleled.
Oh,
It's so good at that.
thank you. I'm just really excited about this issue.
I want you to announce all the stuff I do too. Like, what happens when 2 friends are desperately torn apart? You're so good at it. Just saying.
I just like writing people fighting. Emotionally fighting for their lives. It's so nice.
And we should say that this cover is by the great Jake Bartok. Beautiful job on it. So for High Republic Adventures, for the annual, for the wedding special, the spectacular, what's a word or two for those and for where we're going with this, for our luminous authors? How would you describe our big ending to Phase 3 in a couple words?
Love and disaster.
Destiny and choices.
Wait, what was the question?
How would you describe the end of the story with everything that we've been doing from Tide and now?
Sorry, I got really distracted by all the gay stuff on the screen. Art and excitement. Sorry, adult.
Harvey, how would you describe our ending without giving anything away?
Oh, I think someone will be very brave. Someone will be very brave.
Heartbreak and hope.
Also very accurate. All right, very cool. So, in addition to High Republic Adventures, we also announced the Bad Batch series from This starts in January, and we have not revealed the special guest star villain in this one yet, but it is definitely a fan favorite. So be on the lookout for that soon. Hey, there's Ethan Sachs. Hi, Ethan Sachs. You're a writer. You want to come up here and talk to us? This is Ethan Sachs. How are you? Ladies and gentlemen, Ethan Sachs, writer of Bounty Hunters, Jango Fett, Galaxy's Edge. You know, you've done a lot for Marvel. Same question. What was your first Star Wars book?
So actually, I'm old enough that I saw the original Star Wars in the theater as a 4-year-old, and then I basically was told that there were actual comic books that tied in. So I don't remember what my first one was, but I do remember, and thanks to Adam for reminding me the exact number, but it was number 16, which had that freakish sideboard Valance, and so who I hated. He was just evil and awful to droids. So I ended up traumatizing him, revenge for the childhood trauma. That's why. So it just was, at that time, you know, the combination of words and pictures for a 4-year-old was just magic. And I never lost that feeling of magic with Star Wars. And I do want to say, like, nowadays, the High Republic has been just so wonderful to me, and I'm grateful to share the stage with all of you. Although I did bring a bill for all the extra therapy that I've gone through these last 4 years or so.
Put it on my tag.
Yeah. I have to kill all of them, Cavan?
I mean, it's like a handful.
And to be fair, it's not just Cav.
That's true. That's true.
So same thing also, is there a recent book or a comic that has been impactful or meaningful in the last year or two for you?
You know, I love the most recent ones I've read, and I've just gotten to Valo, Crash, Escape from Valo, sorry. Yes. And I don't want to escape because I really I like living with those characters. So I also just read Poe Free Fall, for obvious reasons, or never Free Fall.
Yeah, by Alex Segura.
By Alex Segura, yeah. He's downstairs if you want to get your own copy. And for obvious reasons.
No, what would that be?
Oh.
I guess, yeah, let's talk about what you're doing for Dark Horse.
Hey.
Yeah. So coming soon. So next year happens to be the 10th anniversary of The Force Awakens, and I get to ride shotgun with Poe Dameron and BB-8.
You little bit more about it.
I'm a little
Just
afraid
a
of what
little.
I can say. Yeah. Well, for starters, like that cover by Diego Galindo is just amazing. I saw that and I literally was tearing up when I saw that in my inbox. It's just absolutely beautiful. And that kind of is the tone. A lot of escape and screaming, maybe some angry chirping. But it's basically set shortly before The Force Awakens, and it's a secret mission, so secret that not even I know what's happening yet. I kind of want to keep this a little bit secret, just because there's some twists and turns. And I'm having a blast. And I also just want to give a shout out to Dark Horse because, you know, when again my age, when you know, like in the early '90s, there wasn't like we're all spoiled now by all this great stuff that we have, like Star Wars stuff that we have on demand. You know, we can just go to the bookshelf and I can just pull out all these High Republic stuff. Disney Plus, you can see just about anything. But there was a little bit of a desert, you know, in the early '90s, and like some of those Dark Horse books like really carried the day. You know, it was just so just to be a part of it is really special.
So we're going to be hearing and seeing a lot more about this in the days and weeks to come. It's coming next year. We're very excited about it. It is a miniseries. And we have a couple of things to talk about coming up from Dark Horse. So we've spoken about the Qui-Gon OGN. This has been slightly delayed, as folks know, and the reason why is we just want to get it right and make sure it's super cool and exciting. We can reveal a couple pages from it now. You're going to see a lot more in the days to come. George Mann has done an incredible job with this. He really tells the story of Qui-Gon at different points in his life. So you get to see him as a teacher to Obi-Wan and as a Padawan to Dooku. It connects to some High Republic stuff as well. It's a really fun mystery, and he's just done an amazing job with it. We're going to be doing a few more of these. We're spacing them out a little bit just to give everyone time to work on them, and also give the production time that is necessary for OGNs. Obviously, they take longer to produce than individual comics. But we are doing a couple more. They're going to be coming out in 25 and 26, so not immediate, but I'm thrilled to announce that we're going to be doing General Grievous, which will be written by Michael Morisi, and we're going to be doing Mace Windu, which is written by Justina Ireland. And I have to say that the covers here for all of these OGNs are by the incredible Michael Cho. He really knocked these out of the park. So these are the ones that we are able to speak about now, but there will be more to come after that, which is very, very exciting. That is it for our reveals. Before we wrap up for the panelists, what are you most looking forward to, and then also what else are you working on? We'll start with Daniel and go down the line.
Getting to work on this project has been so life-changing, and seeing it come to a head the way it is, seeing all the different voices coming together and doing their different things, it's really the culminative piece of it. You can, as we've always said and keep saying, you know, you can't read each one individually. There's something really special about getting to bear witness, both from the inside and also outside, to the fullness of it, the entirety of it. So as we go into the Battle of Eriadu and all of the events covered in Charles's novel and Amy, everything, Claudia's, it's Justina's, there's so much. Just relish in it, enjoy it. You know, there's new eras opening up after this, new chapters beginning. Certainly every door closes and opens and all that. But this is a really special time for Star Wars and for the High Republic, so fully just jump on in and engage.
What else are you working on, Daniel?
Oh man, my Substack. To be quite honest, if you want to know more about my thoughts on the world and on writing particularly, find me on Substack. It's my full name, and that's where I'm at. Thank you.
So as Daniel said, that I'm 10 pages away from the end of the High Republic, or my part in the I am 10 pages away from the end of Cavan's steer, and it's emotional in so many ways, not just what's on the page, but for us. So that's something that's coming to an end. There's something, I mean, we've talked about Dark Horse stuff. There is more Dark Horse stuff that, you know, we've been to Vader's Castle.
Oh, that's true, right?
We've been to the Rancor Pit.
We have.
We've been to the Death Star. And next Halloween we might be going somewhere new.
Where will we be going next Halloween?
All I'm going to say is beware the Nightlands.
You heard it here first.
The Nightlands, beware them. The Nightlands. I was trying to be ominous.
I know I'm terrified.
Yeah. So that's good. And then away from Star Wars, I'm working with another Star Wars alumni, Nick Brokenshire, who I've done lots of work with over the years. We're writing a new distillery book, which was announced yesterday or the day before. There's an update artwork on the distillery website that it's done, which is beautiful. And that's my next job.
Excellent. Rachel?
Yeah, it's sort of weird because I've finished on Tayaric now for now, and it's always sad when you've sort of done 2 trades worth of a character because you get quite sort of connected to them, and so then when you're like, oh, goodbye. So seeing the artwork of like her popping up in the next story, I was like, where's the baby? Someone else is, you know.
You did say for now, though, didn't you? You said for now.
Yeah, you know, one day I'll run Lucasfilm publishing, it'll be nothing but Tayaric books. I thought you were telling me something else. Yeah, so hopefully at some point I would always love to revisit that character, like anything Star Wars, because like I'm pretty sure everyone on this panel can agree that like every single little bit of Star Wars you do, your little heart goes, oh my god! Like I remember the first time I had to draw Darth Vader for a cover, and it was the first time I'd ever drawn him professionally, and the brain just felt slightly. So yes, I hope I get to do a bit more of it in the future. But for now, I've just finished a image book with Jim Sadowski that's about superheroes. It's really fun. It's like a spin-off of his Eisner Award-winning public domain books. That's really good, and he's lovely, so yay for me. What's it called? Domain. I was like, what is it called? I don't know. I don't really look at it that often. Yeah, and then next up I'm doing another book with Chip, but that hasn't been announced yet, so I won't say anything about that.
Harvey, how about you?
Actually, I think we're almost in the end. It's like I told Daniel like, oh, we're gonna like end like next year or something, and then I think we're gonna end mid next year with all the Hair Republic. But I'm crying the whole time. It's like I don't want to end. But when they give me the first 12 book, and I was like, oh, I hope there's like another one. Then when they give me another one, it's like, oh, I hope there's another arc. So when they give me like, oh, this is the last arc. No! It's like, I told my wife, it's like, oh, I'm now out of job, so that's I'm gonna be back to being a robber and some sound mounts outside the door and everything. I've never stopped drawing, I've never stopped dreaming. So every time there's a Star Wars script sent to me, it's like I draw it instantly, even though I'm not the artist behind it. And just like, oh, this is what happened, this is what happened. And then my editor said, oh, it's not your book, it was for someone else. So that's like, I was so enthusiastic with it. So, but whatever in my plate, I keep like 1000% of it. I like, you can work like 9 hours a day, I work 18 hours a day, just to give all those pages the life that they write it, and all these writers believe in us. And I just, whatever in my plate now, I don't know, we are in issue 14, 15, but I just give everything I have just for you guys to enjoy, because I'm also same as you, I'm a fan. And when the Star Wars Awakens you mentioned, like my teardrop, because I remember in the cinema, zang, 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 zang. Whoa, I'm crying. And I was like, then, you can see I'm like a pin Darth Vader and everything. I love the villains and stuff. So, yeah, we're exciting for you guys to deliver the stories that hope you will never forget and will inspire your kids to tell the story that you were part of the history that we made, and you guys were also part of it. And we have book signing before after this one with my artist Ali J20. And I wanted to announce it because it's the first time with Daniel and I for 5 years working. We never see each other, and we were like a kid jumping like this, So yeah, if you want to catch with us, we are J20 at Arby's after this one.
J23 Buck.
Oh my god, I'm so inspired by everybody's passion. Like that's my favorite thing about doing Star Wars. Whether it was like Dr. Afra before, working with everybody, and like High Republic stuff now. It's funny, as the last person to come in, like as part of the initiative, everything's wrapping up and I'm just like, I want everything. It makes me really happy. So many people have come to my table and been like, I love the High Republic. I'm cosplaying the High Republic. And you know, I love Escape from Vallo, I love all the books, I love all the comics, and that is so special. It fills my heart, and it makes me love Star Wars more. Like, your passion is the thing that really inspires me. And also, your passion is the thing that really inspires me. I'm sad to see everything end, but I mean, does anything really end? Nothing. As for things I'm doing right now, I am doing we are launching a brand new Psylocke solo series, X-Men. Next month. So that's going to be a dark, intense character story about Quantum Psylocke and who she is. As I think you can see kind of a pattern here in the types of stories that I like to tell. But again, there's so much joy in getting to work with so many amazing, inspiring people. And like when Daniel and I were collaborating on Escape from Vallo, it was again that like feedback loop of passion. And I'm so glad that you're here with us.
So in this particular Pose series, I think one of the things I'm most excited about is when I was a kid, all my friends on the playground wanted to be Luke Skywalker or Han Solo or Leia or Darth Vader. I wanted to be Wedge Antilles. I felt like he always knew, like he was just the most competent and smartest person, and like he knew when to leave. I did my part. There's a little scratch, on my X-wing, so I'm out of here. So just to get to do those X-wing battles, I remember owning the original toy and getting that from my dad, and so I'm just like really reverting to a child on this one. So like it's kind of exciting to do something a little different than I'm used to. But not that I've confirmed that there's any X-wing battles or anything.
I mean, it was on the cover.
I said it may or may not. And in terms of other things I'm doing, I can't really announce some of the other stuff I'm doing, but I just did wrap up a series that I did with my daughter for Image called The Haunted Girl, which was inspired by her real-life battles with depression and suicidality, and we teamed up with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. It's really meant to inspire other people to seek help when they need to and keep trying, and so persevering, and I'm really proud of that one. I'm proud of her, and so that's just kind of came out in trade paperback form, and we're working on a sequel. So that's the only thing I can talk about right now.
So we're about to wrap up. I just want to say thank you first and foremost to Dark Horse. I think as everyone can see, they're fully committed to telling a wide variety of stories in a galaxy far, far away. And it's really exciting to be a part of that. It's exciting to see the different formats of storytelling, whether it's a miniseries, a one-shot, an ongoing, OGNs, Halloween specials, and they are just as committed as everyone on this stage. And so thank you to them and to the whole editorial team at Dark Horse, and really thank you to all of you, because the only reason we can stand and sit on this stage is because of everyone in this room. Thank you for reading, thank you for supporting the books, the comics, the talent. I say this all the time, but it really does mean more than you realize. You can see the passion they have for it. We don't want to let you down. We want to tell good stories. We want to keep the storytelling alive for us, for the next generation. So thank you for reading. Thank you for coming out on a Saturday. Thank you for buying the books. Have a great rest of the show. And as always, may the force be with you.